Been a while, huh?
It's been a long time
Been a
since we've
long
done a
time.
podcast. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of
And
stuff is happening. Mm.
this one I'm going to make video as well because I always make them audio only, audio.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
And this one I'm going to publish on PT, yeah, as a video. You had a bathrobe,
Yeah,
a
yeah,
unique sight.
yeah.
So
Well, what do you want to talk about?
just
Hmm.
whatever's been going
Hmm.
on. Tell us what's been going on recently.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to nail it down. The last few institutes have been almost like mystical. I don't know what's happening, but like I did an advanced Feldenkrais training as a student with Larry
Hmm.
Goldfarb, who's one of the top trainers on the planet, and since then, like something about the way he's using constraints and encouraging one body part of the self to move more than the other because you're constraining this part. And then the whole thing starts to work as a kind of a global. And I've been applying that with my students in the last Munich Institute. I did several FIs, functional integration, at the piano where we're working with the hand and the arm, as you know,
Wow.
I love to do, but then much more linking it back to the whole body in the sense of the sits bones. But then when you get it just right, the breath lets go and the rib cage becomes more like what the
Loaded.
Germans call it, a rib basket. They don't call it a rib cage. And like this, and then the sound changes. So I've
Wow.
been fooling around with this, and my
Uh-huh.
students are almost like my guinea pigs, but they really like being guinea pigs because they start playing with way more sound, and then this freedom and the sense of the arm. Yeah. So it's been really fascinating, and to see each person, coming from the point where they started, they have their history. Some people with a brutal kind of slamming down of the weight of the arm, and I come in here and try to lift their forearm, and it's like, like that thing's not moving at all. And then slowly, and individuate the thumb and move the body more, and this to see it, it's like Feldenkrais once said, I really feel like God in
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
Michelangelo picture,
Yeah.
the creation of Adam. And at times I feel like that because when the arm finally becomes attached to the body instead of this fixed block, you know,
Yeah.
it's transformational. It really is.
Where did you do
So
this training?
the,
When was this and where did you do it?
The advanced training was in Madrid. Actually, there's a
Oh.
Feldenkrais Center in Madrid that a guy named Patricio runs, and he invited Larry to do something called the Trilogy. It's like 3 5-day workshops over a year, which examines how we do functional integration and how we think about our work. But very empowering. And then
Mhm.
so I came back from that, and then the next week I was already in Munich working with these really fine pianists. We had a wonderful Greek concerto. We had an emperor concerto, and that was very interesting because this lady, when she was playing a scale to the inside, and it was almost collapsing to the point where her teacher told her, "Oh, I think you're getting a dystonia."
Mhm.
And so what it was a pre-dystonia. I told her, listen, if you
Oh,
don't fix this, that will develop into a full-fledged dystonia. But
right.
very simply, she was on this diagonal, and so I just showed her
Wow.
the upper diagonal instead of the lower diagonal, and all of a sudden her fingers started working again. So,
Where do we have a
like,
recording of this?
yeah,
Which?
that one for privacy issues, I don't know whether we can use that,
Oh, okay.
but if you blur her face, maybe. Anyway, but
Okay.
it's from the Munich Institute.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, it's kind of a sensitive issue, but
Got it.
but when you see that you actually help somebody this much, like not only get out of a jam, but really become healthy and
Nice.
viable, it's
Nice.
uh, it's a special feeling, really. It's yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
We had
Yeah. A lot of
another
people. Go
we
ahead.
had another lady who brought all of Chopin Opus 25, all 12 Chopin. Etudes Opus 25, and we worked on
Good.
most of them over the 3 days, the
Good.
4 days of the institute. Yeah, and again, each etude requires a different kind of strategy. I mean, I'm always talking about the hand is a mini body; it stands up. The arm is like the torso, which moves smoothly as we walk, not jerkily, not heavily.
Mm,
But like each etude requires a specific application of this general principle, which and they each I keep, I feel like a broken record, but every time we do something like that, it looks like a unique solution. So the background principles inform, musical structure specific solutions,
for
which
sure.
is
Yeah.
well, and it just keeps getting better. I mean, and it's always new. Like every person is a different version of this stand up and walk or not.
Mm, and
Each musical piece has its own, and that the melody of the D flat major nocturne. Look, I sing 5 notes, and everybody knows what that is.
yep.
Only not only did Chopin only write that melody once, and any composer, none of them wrote that melody except and every melody that we have from all the major works, each one of them is unique. And so each one of them can be experienced with the whole self in a unique way. And so this impression is getting stronger and stronger. I keep talking about the Lewis Carroll, the Cheshire Cat. You remember the Cheshire
Yeah.
Cat who
Yeah, of course.
he disappeared until only
Mm,
his smile was there. And
yeah.
I see a mind and a pair of ears and a pair of hands, and I call it the Cheshire pianist because the rest of them is not there.
Not existent.
It's just like you don't see it. It's like they're invisible. And
Yeah.
so then we start. Well, come on. I'm trying to bring. Okay, let's bring the wrist back in so it's visible. Oh, let's bring the forearm so it's visible. Let's bring the elbow so it's visible. And finally, the whole person gets brought back into
Nice.
into
Oh
this
wow.
world.
Yeah, yeah.
So so Cheshire pianists. We're dealing with a bunch of
Pianist.
Cheshire pianists.
You
Yeah,
should
yeah.
make a video series on Cheshire pianist.
Mm-hmm. That would be something. That would be a fun series.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
And what are the like? Where are you going next? What's going? You're going to the Netherlands, like private
Uh,
training, or
well, actually, the next place I'm going is Novi Sad to play in a veterans hockey tournament. Okay,
okay,
but after that, I'm going to the Netherlands. Yeah, I'm going. There's a lovely pianist named Julia Drews, and she's invited me to teach in her studio in a place called Harderwijk. Don't ask me. It's Harderwijck.
yeah,
So, and it's on the site. You can reserve a lesson if you want. But we'll be working with some singers and some pianists, not only piano players there. Uh, and again, with singers, when you do this, the Feldenkrais approach, and it's not only, oh, you're hyperextended, you need to be less arched in your back because there's tension there.
right.
It's a complex process to teach the neuromotor cortex, to teach the entire brain and all the muscles involved to gradually adjust to start to experience a new possibility. It's profound learning, this postural change. It's very
Hmm.
complex. You can't just impose it. There's a sequencing, and she's working with a singer named Woot, and we worked together last time, and I was doing this while he's singing, and all of a sudden, there's this voice there, which is just like completely honest, completely him. It was like, singers, classical singers,
Yep.
it's kind of put on most of the time, like it's kind of manufactured. And this was like Rosa Poncel or Lottie Lament, the old guys who sang with 19th century technique, where it's just no covering, just straight but beautiful. And his face was like, oh my, like he couldn't believe he was doing
Believe,
it.
yeah.
So I'm coming back
Nice.
sooner than expected because they have a recital in a few months, and I told them, look, why go on stage if you can't sing with that voice all the
Hmm.
time?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
this next little weekend, 4 days actually, is going to be this exploration. Okay,
Awesome.
we got it once. It was like a moment. learn, if you know what you're doing, you can do what you want. So
Are you recording it?
how
I'm curious to see this. Yeah, yeah.
you will record them again, we'll ask them if they for
Mm,
privacy issues or whatever, but it's, some of them, some of these lessons are really fascinating to
nice.
watch. Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's happening, and so there's always there's this technique and everything in sound and musicianship, but there's also the personal. And I'm finding more and more that when the body or the wisdom of the body is fully brought to what we're doing in, for a
Mm,
Chopin etude or a Beethoven sonata, somehow the person, like the person, there's more of the person there, so it becomes a very personal thing. It's
would you
not
say the
just a
body
tech.
follows? Like
the
if
the
the mind is if you put your mind to it, like but like for real, does the body follow, or the body is like not really needs to be taught? Like,
Well, Feldenkrais said that
yeah.
there's no mind body split.
Ah,
He said that the mind, we think the mind exists in the brain, but the brain includes the entire nervous system. So the
okay.
brain is intimately wired to every single cell
Yeah,
in you.
yeah.
And therefore, so sometimes I'm working in some from behind. I've got somebody, I'm there on their spine and their ribs and maybe their shoulder blades a little bit and maybe one, and I'm there and I start after a while when the thing gets connected in movement. Then I start to feel musical ideas here a split second before they sound at the piano. So is
Wow.
the body following, or is the body directing, or is it a kind of a synchronicity or a symbiosis? Very difficult to say. The person's experience tends to be that my fingers are doing it, but and so, but the body is with them.
Right.
So
Well,
it's
that
somewhere in
makes
between directing and following, and different people experience it different ways. But it's this kind of symbiosis, this whole, this organic gestalt of all the
yeah.
parts.
But like when you look at Gould, right, the way he plays Glenn,
Yeah, yeah,
like what would you say? It's wrong, but like every piano
yeah,
teacher would be like, this is don't do this, but then it works for
yeah.
him, right?
He had great technique. He had
Yeah,
absolutely great technique. His hands worked for him, and his body. People think he's slouched. He's not
yeah.
slouched. Like if you take a bow and arrow and you pull the string back, the bow gets more and more curved. But there's amazing potential energy in that
Mm,
curve. We call it tension, but bam, it's potential energy. So
mm.
he put himself into the curve, and then the potential energy of this curve is coming out through his
That's
fingers.
interesting. Yeah, it's
That's what he's
interesting way.
doing. There's
Yeah.
nothing slouched about it. It's he's accessing elastic energy through his entire spine.
By the way, in
It's
archery, like
genius.
when you pull the arrow, like actually when you were talking about the body, like hand is a mini body, like that's exactly what you should do. Treat it in archery when you pull an arrow, like you should literally treat it like a mini body, like because you can't like break it here, you can't do weird
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Like it's just
Uh-huh.
like a continuous motion that is like elegant. But like when you were talking about the mini body. And since I'm doing
Uh-huh.
archery, yeah.
No,
It's a
that I mean art. I
something.
mean, there's this book, The Zen and the Art of Archery, which is an amazing book. But one thing that they talk about is it's continuous. There's no tension.
Right.
Pull a string. It's like it's as if, and when you do it well, you feel there's no work. And it's because the skeleton, again, is exactly the same as at the piano. The skeleton takes over the work of the muscles,
Exactly. The
and
skeleton
when the
does the
when
job.
the bones are well aligned, it's
Yeah.
like there's no effort, and bam,
Yeah.
and and at the piano it sounds better. At the here the arrow goes straighter. At the
Yeah.
piano it sounds better, and I call it skeletal sound, and it's almost like a kind of a knocking.
Hmm.
But the jazz guys, the old American jazz guys who all played Steinway and the but they're not weighted there. It's that they're
Hmm.
joining their skeleton. It's a knocking. It's like they're almost treating it
Elastically
like a
charged.
drummer treats a drum. Yeah, and it's bam, and it's
Hmm.
living and it's responsive. I
Right.
call it skeletal sound, and we had it several times this weekend. I mean, we had this like the opening chords of the first theme of Greek sonata, da 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 da, and it's just an A minor chord, la la la, la la la, and come on, bum. Ba. Oh, wait, no, 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 no. Round the back a little more. Ba. Okay, move the wrist not that way, but
Mm-hmm.
this way so
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
the knuckle goes forward more than the wrist. Not that, but
Not that.
that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bum, bum. Feel your sits bone. Bum, bum. Let your shoulders go. Uh-huh. Let your elbows drop, but don't make them heavy. Bum, bum. We did that chord like 20 times or something. And all of a sudden, oh my God, it was like the sound of it didn't just improve, it transformed the sound of the piano. Like, what's that? It's like, it's not the same piano. And what it was six discrete notes, all of which had their place in the orchestral complex of
Wow.
sonority. You know, so that's what you get when the whole self is individuated and working together. You get all the parts.
All the parts.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. All the parts of the engine. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Good. 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 Perfect. I'm can't wait to watch. Like I don't have much time to watch like I
Mm-hmm,
did
mm-hmm.
before, but like I started watching a few from Munich.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like the one on Chopin. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's yeah.
yeah.
And yeah, well, we'll see.
Yeah,
I'll try to follow it.
there's a
Mhm.
lot happening. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
Good. Good, 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 good.
And I worked with one guy on the in Munich. I do Sunday somewhere else. I do it in the living room of this guy named Christian Graf, who's he's
Hmm.
German, but he sounds like a New Yorker, yeah, because he lived in New York. He's a Steinway D in his living room, and it's a really great instrument. It used to be the instrument in the Lugano Festival, actually. He
Okay.
has that piano, and we have one guy this weekend who, so I always do Sunday there. And there was a total beginner like Tim. He just some young man. He can barely play through some pop song. I don't even know what it was. Some Hijagawi Mujugi. Some anyway.
Okay.
And he hardly knows. He doesn't know how to read and everything. So we linked the sense of this. Like he can never remember his notes, but he's playing his notes like this. And
Uh-huh.
like I said, look,
Collapsed.
stand the F up like that. And like the notes, they go deeper in your brain, like
Whoa.
bam. And you could almost see my God, the notes, they're engraving themselves on his motor cortex. And then, I haven't played it like that, two bars like that twice. I put my hands over the music. He can already play it by memory. Yeah. Because he was playing the notes, but he wasn't learning them. So it was a
Yeah.
completely other aspect of learning how to learn. And, but, but, so this idea of the use of the self or the use of the body, piano somatics, it applies to the simplest of things like improving your sight reading. Yeah.
I saw a few of these like you were doing with a few ladies like learn how to learn
Mm-hmm.
like lessons or
Oh
sessions.
yeah, from last summer.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And
Those
it
are
was
great.
great. Yeah, it was I
Yeah.
think it's like really needed.
Mm-hmm.
I think people responded to it like well. We
Mm-hmm.
got a few comments that they liked learn how to because nobody knows like people most of the time they don't know how to learn like they don't know how to approach anything like even take like a I don't know like a simplest piece of music and how to
Mm-hmm.
approach it properly from like
Yeah.
how do you sit how do you hold your hands how do you like
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
musically
We we
nice.
did a completely different thing in sitting. Like how do you sit? And
Hmm.
normally, you just sit so that your elbows level with the keys. And we just took it somewhere else where, okay, the elbow level with the keys, but the connection from the hand to the sits bone create changing
Hmm.
the whole body into a bellows. And somebody needs to sit a little higher to get that. Somebody needs to sit a little lower or a little closer to the keyboard, a little further away.
Hmm.
You can't just impose this. Oh yeah, well this one has to line up, and it's very individual. It's
Yeah,
about function, not about position.
yeah, exactly
Yeah.
function not like yeah it doesn't work for everybody cool.
And this guy learning how to learn, he just like we literally we took like people don't know the simplest stuff. Like, okay, I asked him, do you ever practice hands separately? He said, "Oh, well, sometimes I do the right hand separately, but I never do the left hand separately." Well, there's your problem, right? But then how? So we went through two bars, but I had him like play each note of the right hand like with really good posture and movement and connection. Okay. Now the same with the left. And then when I told him when you put them together, all that it'll be like none of that happened because it's a completely different brain function to do that. But you see, it's
Yeah.
not just sight reading, it's sight reading with physical awareness and connection. And when he got it, it took longer. I told Moshe Feldenkrais he loves these flashy sayings. Like we said, go slow in order to go fast.
Yeah.
But what it means is that we slowed down the learning process, and in the end, we achieved far more, like
Yeah.
really quickly. He played it well, and his natural musicianship started to come out. Like it turns out, he wasn't just like a klutz teenager who wants to play the piano. There was real feeling there. He started like following the line and expressing something. It was very beautiful to see it start, just like a seed beginning to sprout for the
Yeah.
first time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you approach them like like a shitty approach that most people do, like you killed that what you were talking about. Like you
Mm-hmm.
and then they lose interest and that's it.
Yeah.
Like you really
Yeah.
have to yeah.
The main thing, and people of my students used to accuse me of flattering them because I always start with what's good in their playing, and they're so used to this criticism. But for me, the central issue of what we're doing here of piano somatics is the feeling of
Yeah.
I can,
Yes, you
I
can.
can do this. Like, and you instill that in somebody, and then they'll take the ball and run.
Yeah.
And when they're
Yeah.
struggling to find it, it's just a slog, and it's so it's hard. So we try to make it easy.
That's why they need you. You
Yeah.
know so much.
Well,
You can help.
no, well, I'm happy to help if I can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Good.
It's fun. It's fun.
I good, 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 good,
Great.
good. What else do we need? Do we need, oh, should we mention about the new institute enrollment thing that's going to go
Yeah.
live soon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's this one, we finally made the registration for an institute, the whole procedure streamlined and way clearer. Everybody who tried it in the beta has said, "Oh my God, it's user friendly, like amazingly user friendly." So that's going online very, very soon. Maybe by the time you see this podcast, it'll
Yeah.
already be live. And I guess the other thing to mention is these residencies here in Belgrade. Like I have a really good piano, not that one. And in my
Mine does.
studio, I've got Wanda Landowska's Steinway there, which is the Stradivarius of instruments, very unique. And people come, maybe they don't want to study with me; they just want to play the piano. No, they come, and we I had a lady here from Italy a couple of weeks ago, and we 2 lessons a day, one FI a day, and then I let her use the studio afterwards to sort of. And
Mhm.
this is like it's so concentrated, and she progressed so far. It was kind of unbelievable to see how much she progressed in 2 days. And now she's writing me like, my God, in the functional integration lessons, like again, somehow her whole body on the table became like a bellows and just let go. And then that came back to the piano and helped her transform what she was doing. So these intensives can be really, really useful if you want to supercharge your. I had a guy from San Francisco come for a week. And again, like it's like he's a very good pianist, but needs to integrate. He already knows, play with your hand art, but this, hands on and sensing what's that like in this repertoire, in that repertoire. He just he wrote me that he's really really happy and playing at a whole different level now back
That's
home.
amazing. And
Yeah.
it's like not
So
only studying with you, but like also seeing Belgrade, like which is like
yeah, yeah,
one of the finest Eastern European cities. Like it's really cheap,
yeah.
and you can just like it's really interesting. Yeah,
And
plus studying with you.
This guy Carl showed me like 5 new restaurants in my own neighborhood that I never knew about,
There you
all
go.
of which were great.
Yeah,
And of
and
course, the tamburashi, the gypsy musicians in some of the
yeah,
restaurants, it has to be experienced. I mean, so I
yeah,
would definitely put in a plug for coming
definitely,
to see me here.
definitely
See how
explore
the other half
Serbia.
lives. See how the other half lives. Yeah,
Yeah, Serbia gets a lot of bad rap for well in the media and all
yeah.
that. They actually it's super
Unjustly
safe.
so.
Yeah, and
Unjustly
it's
so.
crazy. Well, there's a is that documentary? No, it's offline, but another one with a Russian guy that happened. Like
That's still on. We can put
that's
that in. Put
still
that.
online.
Put a link. Put a link to that if you
Yeah,
want in this
it's
podcast. It's a That's a fun interview. I
Yeah.
even show him how to use the arch of his hands.
Yeah. He's Russian, so he
Yeah,
should be
yeah.
like used to it. Yeah. Yeah, we'll put it in the notes. But yeah, cool.
Cool.
Good.
Cool.
Good.
Great.